The Minoan civilization thrived during the Middle Bronze Age, approximately 2000 to 1450 BCE, on the island of Crete in the eastern Mediterranean. Through their distinctive art and architecture, and their interaction with other cultures in the Aegean region, the Minoans significantly contributed to the development of Western European civilization. Distinctive palace complexes with labyrinthine layouts, vibrant frescoes depicting activities like bull leaping and processions, intricate gold jewelry, elegant stone vases, and pottery adorned with lively marine life scenes are all notable hallmarks of Minoan culture on Crete. In the early 20th century CE, archaeologist Sir Arthur Evans became intrigued by ancient carved seal stones used as charms by local Cretans. This piqued his interest in the possibility of an ancient civilization on Crete. Between 1900 and 1905 CE, Evans conducted excavations at Knossos, where he uncovered extensive ruins that matched the descriptions found in both ancient literature and myths. These findings seem to align with accounts of an advanced Cretan culture and the potential location of the legendary labyrinthine palace of King Minos. The term Minoan was coined by Evans in reference to this legendary Bronze Age ruler. Evans proposed a division of Crete's Bronze Age into three main phases based largely on distinctive pottery styles. Early Bronze Age or Early Minoan, EM, 3500 to 2100 BCE, Middle Bronze Age or Middle Minoan, MM, 2100 to 1600 BCE, Late Bronze Age or Late Minoan, LM, 1600 to 1100 BCE. Further refinement of these phases occurred using methods like radiocarbon dating and tree ring calibration. The chronology now starts the Early Bronze Age around 3500 BCE and the Late Bronze Age around 1700 BCE. An alternative approach, suggested by Platon, focuses on the events related to major Minoan palaces and divides Minoan history into four periods. These newer perspectives acknowledge conflicts, inequalities between settlements, and both cultural differences and similarities among the Minoan communities on Crete. Minoan civilization left traces all across Crete, with principal palace sites being significant focal points. These major sites, listed by size, were Knossos, Phaistos, Malea, Zakros. At each of these key locations, elaborate palace structures played multiple roles, acting as local hubs for administration, trade, religion, and possibly even politics. While the exact relationship between the palaces and the broader power structure remains somewhat unclear due to limited archaeological and literary evidence, it's evident that the palaces wielded localized influence. One of their notable functions was the collection and storage of surplus resources, including items like wine, oil, grains, precious metals, and ceramics. Small towns, villages, and farms were scattered across the surrounding territory, seemingly under the influence of a single palace. These settlements were interconnected by roads that linked them to both one another and the central palace. Historians generally agree that, until around 1700 BCE, each palace operated independently. After this point, the palaces increasingly came under the influence of Knossos, leading to more uniform architectural styles and the use of linear writing across various palace sites. Despite the absence of fortifications in these settlements, indications point to relatively peaceful coexistence between different communities. However, the presence of weaponry such as swords, daggers, arrowheads, armor, and helmets suggests that peace might not have been constant. Guardhouses and watchtowers along Minoan roads hint at the challenges of banditry, underscoring the need for security, even in this seemingly peaceful society. Minoan palaces can be divided into two major periods. The initial palaces were constructed around 2000 BCE, but due to earthquakes and fires, they were rebuilt approximately around 1700 BCE. These second palaces endured until their ultimate downfall between 1500 BCE and 1450 BCE, likely due to a combination of earthquakes, fires, and potential invasion. These palaces were impressive structures with grand features, including expansive courtyards, colonnades, ceilings supported by tapered wooden columns, staircases, religious chambers, light wells, sophisticated drainage systems, large storage areas, and even designated spaces for public spectacles or religious processions. These palaces, the practice of bull leaping, and the symbolism of double axes, labrys, found in both art and stone carvings might have collectively inspired the legendary story of Theseus and the Minotaur residing in the labyrinth. This famous tale, later embraced by Greek mythology, is closely tied to the labyrinthine structures of the Minoan palaces. Though our understanding of Minoan religion remains incomplete, we gain insights through their art, architecture, and artifacts. These reveal depictions of religious ceremonies such as libation rituals, food offerings, processions, feasts, and even sports like bull leaping. Nature and natural forces also held a significant place, evident in depictions like the female Mother Earth goddess figure and a male figure surrounded by animals. The palaces themselves featured open courtyards, often used for gatherings, and rooms designed with wells and channels for libations. Bulls were prominently featured in Minoan art, and their significance extended to architectural elements like palace walls. These creatures were also a common decorative motif in jewelry, frescoes, and pottery designs. Rural locations, such as hilltops and caves, often showed evidence of cult rituals performed there, indicating the deep religious and symbolic connections within Minoan culture. The advanced nature of Minoan culture and its robust trading capabilities are evident through various aspects of material culture. Writing played a significant role, initially with Cretan hieroglyphic, around 2000 to 1700 BCE, and later with the linear script. Both remain undeciphered. These scripts were often found on administrative clay tablets, and seal impressions on clay were also crucial for record keeping. Minoan art showcases a remarkable diversity and quality, reflecting their cultural sophistication. Pottery discoveries encompass a wide array of vessel types, ranging from delicate cups to large storage jars, known as pithoi. The evolution of ceramics included transitioning from handmade pieces to those crafted on a potter's wheel. In terms of decoration, Minoan pottery moved from intricate geometric designs seen in Khmer's ware to later styles featuring vibrant, naturalistic depictions of flowers, plants, and marine life. Distinct pottery shapes emerged, such as three-handled amphorae, tall beaked jugs, round vessels with false spouts, beakers, small lidded boxes, and ritual vessels adorned with figure-of-8 shaped handles. Additionally, stone was employed to create similar vessel forms and rita, ceremonial vessels often shaped like animal heads and used for pouring libations. While large-scale figure sculptures have not survived, numerous figurines crafted from materials like bronze offer insight into clothing styles of the era. Clay figurines portray men, colored red, donning belted loincloths, and women, colored white, wearing long flowing dresses and open-fronted jackets. Ivory creations like a leaping acrobat and the Faience snake goddess, previously mentioned, demonstrate the Minoans' inclination to capture dynamic, energetic poses. Magnificent frescoes found on palace walls, ceilings, and floors provide glimpses into Minoan beliefs and practices. These artworks exhibit the Minoans' affinity for nature and the sea and offer insights into religious rituals, communal activities, and funeral customs. The frescoes range in size from miniatures to larger-than-life depictions. An intriguing aspect is the Minoans' early portrayal of natural landscapes devoid of human presence, showcasing their reverence for nature. Animals are also frequently featured within their natural settings, such as monkeys, birds, dolphins, and fish. Some frescoes break traditional boundaries by extending beyond corners and covering multiple walls within a room, creating an immersive experience for the viewer. The Minoans, known for their seafaring prowess, maintained contact with various peoples across the Aegean region. This is evident from the influences in their early art originating from Near Eastern and Egyptian cultures. As their civilization progressed, they engaged in an export trade involving items like pottery, oil, and wine in exchange for valuable materials such as copper from Cyprus and Attica, and ivory from Egypt. Certain Aegean islands, especially in the Cyclades, exhibited a similar palace-centered economy and political structure as seen in Crete. Minoan artisans, particularly those skilled in fresco painting, shared their expertise with royal palaces in Egypt and the Levant. The decline of the Minoan civilization is a subject of ongoing debate. Evidence of fire and destruction around 1450 BCE can be found in palaces and settlements, though not at Knossos, which might have been destroyed a century later. The rise of the Mycenaean civilization in the mid-2nd millennium BCE on the Greek mainland, along with indications of their cultural impact on later Minoan art and trade, suggests a probable causal link. However, alternative theories point to earthquakes, volcanic activity, and potential tsunamis. The eruption of Thera, modern-day Santorini, is considered significant, although its exact timing remains disputed, clouding its connection to the Minoan civilization's end. The most likely scenario involves a combination of natural environmental challenges and competition for resources, which could have weakened societal structures. This vulnerability could have been exploited by invading Mycenaeans. Regardless of the exact cause, most Minoan sites were deserted by around 1200 BCE. Crete re-emerged on the historical stage in the 8th century BCE with the colonization efforts of archaic Greeks.